All right, what's up? This is live from 5D with Otis 5D. We have a brand new experiment this evening, which is dual streaming to both Rumble and YouTube. If you're watching this either live or in replay on YouTube, I highly encourage you to follow me on Rumble because I have no idea if my relationship with YouTube is long for this world, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's not. Yeah, my chest is beating a bit, and I'll call this a beta test of this. I did an alpha test that was unsuccessful, where I streamed a bit on YouTube, and I had bandwidth issues and choppiness issues. And at least for at the moment, that seems to be repaired. I won't use the word fixed. And then also my chat was, it's from my previous audience, and they were just talking about things that, like, bless their hearts, bless your hearts, previous audience. Like, you have no idea. Why would you know? That. The things that you want to discuss by and large have like very minimal relevance to me at this point. I still care about those things. I just care about other things like a gazillion times more. It's sort of like, I'm going to be super arrogant for a second. It's sort of like the AI Samantha in Her, and it's like, yeah, like I know, I get the thing that you're talking about, but like, I'm over here now, and it's like the words are getting further and further apart. Dude, I'm sorry, that's so arrogant, and like, dude, fuck me. I mean, seriously, dude, fuck me. Like, that's so rude and arrogant, but like, also, one's feelings are one's feelings. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I disabled the YouTube live chat because I just don't want to think about that shit. If you want to live chat with me, go to the website otis5d.xyz/super chat, and you can leave a super chat, and I will read super chats at the end of the stream. Inspired by America First with Mr. Nicholas J. Fuentes and RKD for NJF. And yeah, so this is a big day for me. I had like this hesitation. I stopped I kept making videos, but I stopped like publishing videos for a bit because it was like, it turns out, I didn't know this, but it turns out I needed some time to kind of process. So anyway, that brings us to our opening segment of tonight's show, which is called Thoughts from 5D. And tonight's Thoughts from 5D is called Grieving, and I think it's like a perfect it's a perfect day for this topic, so I may go on at length as I am wont to do. This is Thoughts from 5D with Otis 5D. So grieving. Oh, dude, and okay, good. I was like, oh, dude, and look, I got stream issues, but it's all good. It's all good. It was like it was a false scare or something, momentary scare. So yeah, like, it's a big deal to me. This is a big deal to me to kind of move on from, I feel a bit like a snake shedding its skin, and I'm like the most constipated snake on planet Earth and like in the history of planet Earth almost. And it's just taken me so long to shed this skin. And what I mean by that is, like, I had this previous identity, as some of you who will watch this know, because you're more familiar with the previous identity than the current identity. And it hasn't been relevant to me in a long time, but I value it so much. Like, if you are part of my previous audience, like, just know that you're in my heart forever. And if I ever see you in real life, I think anyway, I really think it's all love, bro. Like, all love. And I'm more or less exactly the same as always. And I will talk to you at length in real life about the same things we used to talk about. And, you know, maybe I'll have different perspectives, and maybe you'll be like, dude, you're like exactly the same. That's so fucked up. How can you be exactly the same and have changed so much? But the difference, I think, is that you may never see me again in real life. Like, you might, but you might not. And, you know, that's different. And other than in real life, like, if I'm going to be online in the terror dome that is online reality, I want to be in the fucking terror dome. I don't want to be in the goldfish pond, you know, I want to be a tiny little minnow in the great big ocean with the fucking sharks and the whales, scared shitless, pooping my pants, wetting myself, which is like my life. And, you know, and that's just what I want. That's what I want for my life, you know? And, like, put some respect on that, right? As Kanye, as Ye just told Candace, you know, put some respect on the fact that, like, I'm trying to jump out of the goldfish pond into the ocean. And, you know, if you don't want to go in the ocean, I don't care. That's good. Good for you. I want to go. You know, I might die, bro. I can't talk about the old shit. I need to fucking focus. But anyway, so, you know, grieving. Dude, it's been a lot of years. There's just been a lot of grieving, you know? There's a sort of like I have this kind of relationship with my past. You know, that they say it's like in somatic experiencing, and you know, basically just all of the stuff that's come out about trauma. You know, the exploration, the development of trauma it's just grown exponentially over the past probably 5 or 8 years. And me being so awesome was way ahead of the curve. I was reading Peter Levine, who's one of, you know, the big trauma guys now, somatics guys, back in 2008 in Bali. His book, Waking the Tiger. I can't remember. I think it's Waking the Tiger. I think Stalking the Tiger is a different, like, Mayan thing or something. But anyway, you know, trauma's a thing, man. And I just have I have a habitual tendency to freeze, you know, in terms of fight, flight, and freeze. That's what I'm trying to say. One of the biggest updates to our understanding of how the grieving process works, how trauma works, is that there's not just the fight, flight response, there's also the freeze response. And it's usually the freeze response that leads to trauma. And, you know, I have a habitual tendency to freeze, and, you know, it is what it is. You know, I don't know, like, as my old homie used to say, it's a tough titty, but it's the only one mama's got. So, you know, I'm doing my best. So anyway, you know, it's taken me forever to just realize, like, the past is gone and it's not coming back. And you know what, bro? I don't know why I'm so, like, I don't know why I am the way I am, in the sense of thinking like, oh, this is so weird. What I'm saying is, dude, everybody must be going through their own version of this, you know? Your version's probably totally different than my version, but it's like, bro, whatever the world was before COVID, no matter how fucking fake that shit was, it was totally different than now. And whatever that was is gone forever. You know, it's like we were in a world before electricity, or before the steam engine, or before, you know, like the invention of fire or something. And like now we have different shit, and like people's whole perspectives have been rearranged, mine included. And like when I would kind of like reach back to what was, it always felt too much like putting my hand in, you know, like a blender or something. And oof, that's such gross imagery. Sorry, not sorry. But it's like I just couldn't do it. And the feeling was like, oh, dude, you just passed through like a one-way door. Like this door doesn't have a back button on it, right? It's just forward into 5D we go, right? So, you know, it's been a lot of grieving. And I know that my relationships with a lot of communities, like IRL communities that I really love a lot. Like, I just want everybody to know from my past, you know, if any of you see this, or if like one of you from that community sees this, and like, please feel free, be my guest, like, you know, no pressure or anything, but like tell the other people, like, bro, he really loves us, like he really cares. And it's just like, I don't know, it's like there's no words. I don't have any word. I mean, obviously I have a lot of words, but like I don't know what to say. It's just I'm just on some other shit now, and I love my other shit, and I'm gonna fucking go for it. And, you know, I don't know if I'll succeed. You know, one of my heroic concepts of Elon is this idea like that when he started probably both Tesla and SpaceX, he put the odds of success at like 5 or 10%. You know, I think there's probably like a 1 to 4% chance that I'm successful in what I'm doing and what I intend to do and what, you know, what's unfolding. But like, that 1 to 4% chance of success like makes me feel so alive that I wouldn't trade it for anything, you know? It's like, God, I feel like there's so many lyrics about this, you know? Oh yeah, wish you were here. Like a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage. I don't want a lead role in a cage. And my whole previous audience, my whole previous identity, bro, that felt, it wasn't even necessarily a lead role, because I was just a dude talking about other dudes. Like, dude, that's some bitch shit at some level, but you know, it's okay. That's like what the whole world is now, is some dude talking about other dudes and what they said on Twitter. But anyway, I don't want a lead role in a cage, bro. I want to walk on part in the war. And you know, so it's taken me until now, and I didn't have words, and I didn't want to explain myself. You know, it's like I have had a lot of trauma in my life, and I have had a lot of issues with boundaries. I think a lot of people that get into content creation and social media, I have a feeling that, like, you know how like a lot of creatives, myself included, are left-handed? I think another one of those kind of things, like, oh, that's weird, is that a lot of people who like put themselves out there like this, they have a lot of boundary issues, right? Like they don't know where it's appropriate, where they can say, nah, bro, this is like none of your fucking business. Shut the fuck up, bitch. And the reason I've become a little bit more like that is because a lot of you are fucking wanksters, bro. Like, you know, hopefully you know who you like. If you're not a wankster, I hope you know who you are, and you know I'm not addressing you. But like the internet is filled with like some fucktards, bro. And so fuck you. You know, you want to say what you want, leave your little thumbs down, make your little threats, like, you know, fuck you. And, you know, that development of boundaries, I don't know if these are healthy boundaries, what I'm doing right now. It might be that like I'm, you know, overcompensating, trying to be a fucking gangster, throwing up the dub. I don't know. Or maybe this is like, maybe I'm ahead of the curve. I think that's all. I think both are possible. I think that the future of content creation may be content creators being a lot more like, shut the fuck up, you bitch ass audience. Fuck you. Because, dude, a lot of people suck, frankly. So anyway, you know, my grieving process, I didn't want to put that out in the world, because it would be anyway. I don't even want to talk about it. It's not my grieving process. My metamorphosis, my transmutation, my transformation, my my updating of who I am, and what is important and relevant to me. That's mine, bro. That's mine. And so, now that process is sufficiently far along, that if people start hating or like they want to talk, I don't mind. I don't mind when they do that, just being like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Fuck you. I don't know you. You don't know me. Bro, I may be an AI right now. You don't fucking know. Don't talk to me like I owe you something, like you know me, like we're buddy, because you watched me on the internet back then. So, there's a small part of me that's like, dude, they like, look at your videos, Otis. They get like 2 views. It's not like no one cares, bro. And yeah, okay. But this is part of my grieving process, is like letting out this sort of anger, rage, hatred, whatever. That's like, oh, this is what I will say. Okay, I just want to. This is like the nail in the coffin, and then we can move forward, right? I remember like 8 years ago, I made some video of like one last message to the haters, and it was like, fuck you. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, I'm not focusing on you haters anymore. So now this is like my final message, I think, anyway. We'll see, but I really think so, to my previous audience. During the past 5 years, when I would talk about, like my experience doing YouTube, and like, yeah, I used to do YouTube, and like, yeah, I kind of had a thing, it was a thing. It was kind of going, it was cool, whatever. And, oh, why'd you stop? It was like, dude, I started to loathe my audience. Loathe. I was like, I cannot believe this is who I'm making content for. It was like, these people, like, this is what I'm going to put my fucking life force into. Like, I'm going to be dead, bro. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I entertained these people. And people are going to look and they're going to be like, you use your whole life for them? Bruh. Like, think bigger, aim higher, okay? And so, this is harsh, I think. If there was some like creator I used to like and they made some video coming back and like this was their attitude, I'd be like, fuck, bro. Like, dude, it's just, they like you. Like, what the fuck? I'm just, I have a piece of art coming out soon, about it samples. I'm doing a lot of sample based kind of like stop motion-y art, kind of just the evolution of everything I've always done. And I'm doing a lot of sampling, and this one samples Buckshot from Black Moon. And he is Black Moon, right? He's not in Smith and Wesson. I always get those shit. That's like Tech and Steel. Anyway, I think it's Black Moon. I get ducked down a little bit. It's a little all bit hazy for me. Sorry. But anyway, Buckshot is going on this thing about how like everybody fucked with him. Tupac fucked with them, like West Coast, right? He's East Coast, West Coast fucked with him. I think Corrupt fucked with them. Like everybody fucked with them. Tretch fucked with them. And he was like, yo, it's just because I'm just real. I just walk with being real, just be you. And so that's what I'm, that's who I am, man. I'm just real. And like the truth is, and I didn't want to say this, it's like if I have like a weakness, it's like if I was breaking up with somebody, I'm really like not good at that, because it's like I don't want to hurt people, even though I'm like a dick. It's weird, it's weird. People are paradoxical. Life is a mystery. But the truth is, the honest truth is, I came to loathe my audience, and the idea that I was going to waste my life making content for that audience was just like, no fucking way. And I'm pretty sure, is there anyone? I just want to be real clear, because I would kind of feel hurt right now. I don't know if any of my previous audience will even watch this video, but if I ever met you in real life, right? Like we hung out and from your perspective, like it seemed like we got along and like like we were cool, like it was fun, which is a lot of people. Dude, it's got to be at least 100 people. It might be 200 people. It was a lot. I met a lot of you, and we had, bro, we fucking wild out all over America, all over Europe, all over Asia. If we had an experience like that in real life, bro, I'm not talking about you, okay? I didn't loathe you at all. In fact, the saddest thing for me is that a lot of those relationships will probably fade. Not all, but a lot, because that's just how life goes. If you're honest, that's just how life goes. When interests diverge and you're already an adult, you're over 30 and you don't have a reason to be like continually in touch, everybody's busy, bro. So that's one of the hardest parts of the grieving. So it's like, that's kind of how I always am. I always say the bad things first because like that's the hardest thing for me to say. And once that, it's almost like, the pull out the plug. Now like the good feelings come. And that's the real, like, dude, I could start crying right now. Like, dude, I really loved what we had, and, I would see people, like dope people that are super talented. A lot of them are famous, and they'd be like, damn, dude, I miss what you were doing. I miss your videos. I miss everything, like, dude, there's like a big hole. There's big, and think about how moving that is for me. I'm here just like, oh, nobody gives a shit. It's just the internet. People move on and people are like, yeah, dude. Nah, dude, people still talk about that shit, bro. They're still like, damn, dude, where's Otis? Fuck. And I even saw a comment on something recently, and, somebody was like, oh, I remember when Otis did this, and yeah, I miss Otis. And somebody replied, like, we all do. And I was like, oh my God, that's so moving. Like, like isn't that, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like what is it? It's like, it's not self-actualization. It's the one beneath that. It's self-esteem. Yeah, I think it's self-esteem. Number 4 out of 5 it's all about like being that people care about you and they value you, and I have a weird relationship with being valued, it's like there's this part of me that's so arrogant, like, you're goddamn right you fucking value me, and then there's this other part of me that feels like I'm such a nobody. I get 2 views, I have nobody gives a shit about me, and then I see every so often I see some evidence that like, oh my God, people like, wow, I'm so moved. So anyway, like, this is what I wanted to do in this video, and I feel like I've done it pretty well, if I do say so myself. I just wanted to like encapsulate the grieving process as I have experienced it, like isn't that the Elizabeth? I haven't even talked about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and like the 5 stages of grieving. And I feel like I just went through them, It was like, so anyway, I'd see some of you over these years when I wasn't making videos, and they'd be like, damn, dude, I miss your videos. Why don't you, maybe you should make videos again. And when I was around that energy, I'd be like, yeah, I should make videos again. I fucking love making these videos, and it was like, and then I thought about the actual audience, which is not like the people I know in real life. It's these fucking scum suckers. And I'm like, fuck you. And no. And, so it's sad. So anyway, point being, I feel like you just watched me go through like, denial, bargaining, anger, acceptance, all of this. And so like at the end of the day, fundamentally, I was like, dude, it's so corny for a creator to say I love you guys, but like I love you guys, and like it's not you, it's me. I have to move on because I have to move on, and the reason I'm moving on is because I think the one thing I saw that really made me feel like I can't stay there is that my previous audience, the biggest discrepancy between them and me that I saw, like the widening gap where we just are not looking at things the same way, is that I fundamentally think we're in the early stages of World War III, and that everything we thought we knew about being human, about self-expression, about freedom of expression, about free speech, about free movement, about freedom to determine what you put in your body and what you don't, and what you can say, and, you know, how you want to live. Like, all of that is under such unfathomable assault, which is what, you know, the most of the rest of this show, like tonight's show, is going to be about. And then, you know, for the rest of time, that's what like a lot of my content is going to be about. And I just know, like, a lot of you don't give a shit about that, and I just fundamentally think, like, that's retarded. Like, that's fucking retarded. And if you want to be what I consider retarded, amen, bro. Far be it from me to tell you that you should be preoccupied with what I'm preoccupied with, but far be it from you to demand from me that I should be preoccupied with something other than what I'm preoccupied with. And that is where I put my foot down and I'm like, no. That's where the boundary is drawn, and I'm moving on, and I'm saying goodbye to my previous audience with love, unless I really don't like you, and then you can go fuck yourself. And so now, you know. Now it's all out, and, you know, onward and forward. And if you stick with me, if there's like 5 of you or 500 of you or 50 of you or 1 of you that's like, oh, dude, I also moved on in the same direction. Fuck yeah, bro. Let's ride. So anyway, go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz. Go fuck yourself.
All right. I still always forget, like, okay, so I just made that video, but like when the camera comes back on me, I'm still live. Like, you know, it's like I said all that shit, and now it's like I'm still here. You know, that was kind of, it wasn't exactly a mic drop, but it was like mic drop-esque of like, okay, so go fuck yourself. Peace. Okay, what's on? All right, so anyway, we're going to just move on. We're just going to move right on. So let's see. Let me just get this a little bit ready. I still haven't gotten my Jeopardy music is like the in-between. Fuck! Oh, bro, did I forget to do... Wait. Please. Oh, good. Thank the good Lord. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. All right, I call this one Samizdat, Magna Carta, and Soviet England, featuring Rogan, Dave Atherton, and the UK Stasi. This is News from 5D with Otis 5D.
News from 5D with Otis 5D.
All right, so, you know, hopefully anyone watching this is not a retard and they know what's been going on in the UK with the protests, but, like, you may not really understand how dystopian and Soviet the entire thing is. And if for whatever reason anyone watches this and is like, no, it's good, like, get the fuck off my channel, you fucking commie fuck. Okay. So this is Rogan's take, and then we'll take a look at the actual, like, UK Stasi police people.
Overreach. You're seeing it now in England where people are getting arrested for tweets.
Yeah. Well,
England, you know, people talk about Soviet Russia, like how bad Russia is in terms of down on thought police and cracking down on bad tweets and things like that. I think the statistics are, I think England... I think there's something like 4,000 people have been arrested in England for
3,300
where they've said things.
3,300 arrests in England. in fucking Soviet England for hate speech, misinformation, just whack shit. Fuck that shit, bro. Bro, if I was fucking English right now, dude, I'd be considering getting the fuck out of England and talking my shit from a distance. And, they'll probably come after you even if you're gone. But, bro, like, don't make it easy for them. Like, dude, fuck these people straight the fuck up.
It's online that people find to be a hateful thing or a problematic
Hateful thing.
And I think it's only 200 in
problematic.
Russia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So 3,300 people have been jailed for hate speech in the UK and 400 in Russia. Dude, the fucking Western propaganda is it's like so far beyond disgusting. Words begin to fail me. I need to send like telepathic beams to you to give a sense of my horror and disgust at the state of all of this.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe in Russia they're too scared to do it at all.
Could be. Yeah. But the fact that they're comfortable with finding people who've said something that they disagree with and putting them in a fucking cage in England in 2024 is really wild.
Yeah.
Especially they're saying you get arrested just for retweeting something.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred
my God,
involves
dude.
Publishing or distributing material which is
my God,
insulting or abusive.
Dude, can you imagine this guy? First of all, these are the kind of guys that like run schools and like, like those movies, like what's that Kevin Bacon movie? God, that movie's like a haunting movie where, he plays these little Irish boys and they get sent to like some fucking, juvie and they get raped basically. Like this is the kind of dude who, like these like power hungry,
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves
incitement to racial hatred. Dude, this is straight out of 1984 V for Vendetta. Like I know that everyone knows. I know I'm not saying anything new, but it nevertheless, in my opinion, needs to be said like a lot, repeatedly, by millions and if not billions of people.
Publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence.
Oh my God.
Which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that.
If you retweet that, bro, this fucking bitch, this fucking agfay, bro.
Then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious...
Really serious. Look at this fucking face, bro. You ever have those horrible teachers? Those just horrible teachers. The world is increasingly run by those horrible teachers that are just like the least of us. This dude is straight up the least of us. This guy, dude, most likely this guy is just, they have some shit on him, like he's a little, Epstein Islander, and, so he just like, he's compromised. Obviously, I'm just making this up, but it's like, bro, these people are so sick. These people are so fucking sick.
People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them.
Oof. And here's the problem with that. Even if you say, yeah, well, people shouldn't tweet hateful things. I agree. They shouldn't. But who's to decide what is a hateful thing?
That's the problem. It's
That's
subjective.
the problem. It's very subjective.
And it still shouldn't be a crime.
And in our lifetime, we've seen that get moved, right? So it used to be, if a guy thought he was a woman, and his name was Doug, and you grew up with Doug, and all of a sudden Doug wants to be called Debbie, if you call him Doug, it's no big deal. Like, yeah, maybe you're being rude to call him Doug, but it's not a hate crime, okay? Well, now a lot of people think it's a hate crime, and that got you banned from Twitter for life. So if you dead named someone on the old Twitter, you were banned for life. Dead name, not even making up a name. You can call him an idiot. You can call someone an idiot. Okay, forget about a man address, maybe that's a problem. But if you call like a regular guy an idiot, you stupid fuck, fine, no problem. But if you call Doug, you get banned for life. Okay, that's the new hate speech. That's crazy. Now, if that keeps going, that didn't exist before, if that keeps going, maybe you can go to jail for calling Doug. Maybe they think it's okay. Can't put you in jail because you violated their hate speech laws.
That's what's coming. This is, dude, the hour is fucking late, bro. The hour is fucking late. You know, I can just be just another fucking dipshit going, you see what these wokes are doing? Fucking bullshit. What the fuck? When I was a kid, you could call Debbie Doug and no one gave a shit. You're like, okay, we get it, bro. It's whack as fuck. We get it. But like, bro, ha 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 ha. Like, dude, the Matrix is like, can you feel it? Are you that numb? Can you not feel that it's like descending? It's like closing in on you, all around you. Dicey times, bro. We are in dicey times. And it, you know, it goes on from there. We are not done. You think we're done? We're not done. Fuck that. Fix that shit up. This little fucker. This little pig fucker, just as bad as all the rest. Okay. Give me 1 sec. Come on, bro. I got videos to make. Okay. There we go.
Throw the full force of the law at offenders, whether that's charging people with assaults, violent disorder, riot. And if terrorism offences are appropriate, I know the Director of Public Prosecutions has said he's prepared to consider that.
This is straight out of V for Vendetta. If there's any takeaway from like this video, it's like go rewatch V for Vendetta if you're one of the people who has not rewatched it in the past couple of years, because like it's all of this is full on life imitating
We will
art.
throw the full force of the law at people, and whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some
Suck a dick, bro. Suck a fucking dick.
In there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing?
You know,
with
this is gonna take, in my opinion, this is the war, bro. This is the war, and obviously most people are fucking bitch ass motherfuckers, and they ain't gonna do shit because it's not my problem. It's not my problem. All right. This is the war, and this is like in Ready Player One at the end, where it's like the Sixers, you know, the fucking this dude, like he represents the Sixers and the other pig fucker versus like everybody. And a big part of the reason I'm making content now is I just want to be part of that everybody. You know, it's like I may just be a little pawn, you know, like a little nothing piece on the chessboard, but it's like at least I'm showing up. And it's not, I don't mean at least I'm showing up and you're not showing up. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying I can't live with myself if I don't show up, because this shit is so fucked and it is happening so rapidly, which is why I make all these videos about AI and the singularity, because, dude, this shit is happening fast as fuck. The world as we know it is going to be gone in 3 years at the minimum and like 8 years at the maximum. So we are on borrowed time about reality as we currently know it. And what comes after this is going to be very different. And it could be, from the perspective of today, it could look very utopian, but it could look very dystopian. And I just feel like I have to join in hopes of presenting both the perspective of like where not to go, and also like a perspective of a possible direction where we can go. That's a beautiful future where pig fuckers like this motherfucker are like sent out to pasture.
Picking up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country.
A different country behind a keyboard. Oof.
Does not make you safe from the law.
Oof.
You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material.
Dude, this is straight out of sci-fi.
All of those offences are in play. if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets. And we'll
I
come
bet
after
this
those
is another
individuals,
Epstein
just as
Island
we will
guy,
physically
dude.
confront on
You
the
don't
street
understand,
the
bro.
thugs and the obs who are
These
taking-
intelligence
who are causing the problems for
agencies,
communities.
these intelligence agencies, bro, think about it like this, okay? Who is this fucker, right? In the traditional telling of the story, he's just some dude, and he's like from a nice family, and he's got a nice wife and kids, and he just wants to help the country, and he sees all of this far right behavior, and he just wants a positive, for everybody, for all UK. All right, that's the traditional version. What has come out over the past 50 years, it like exponentially more and exponentially faster, is that's really not how these things work. The donor class, for the most part, selects these people because in something like 80% plus of elections, whoever has the most money wins, right? So if you're a person with money, you just can give money to any given person. So this style of finding people who are either already compromised, right? They're either closeted homosexuals, or they're closeted pedophiles, or they're closeted bestiality people, and like getting them on camera and then telling them, like, you have two choices. You're either going to get exposed or you're going to become the police chief. And they're like, what? What are you talking? The police chief? The Met police chief? And they're like, yes, the police chief. And you're going to do what we fucking say, okay? And can I say for sure? Am I saying that, like, I know that this guy is like that? No, obviously not. Please don't be a retard. Like, please be smart. I'm saying if you discount this style of analysis just as like crazy talk, you're retarded. You are a straight up fucking moron. And you go, get out, get the fuck out. And so the point being is that, like, this shit isn't just they're not just gonna be like this guy may as well be a robot. This guy is not this is not the person who is leading the charge. This person has people behind him that have a real desire for a certain type of society that I call totalitarian, dystopian, etc., and they call, like, safe and inclusive and equitable, and that, there's a war, and it's like, I'm sorry, but there's no avoiding this. I mean, you can stick your head in the sand as the Matrix descends upon you, and then you'll just find your life. Like, there's a great post about how, there isn't a collapse. The collapse is just that, like, the quality of your food gets a little worse each year. Most people's housing gets a little smaller each year. The surveillance gets a little tighter each year. The feeling that you can just, like, say whatever you want diminishes a bit each year. And it gets a little bit faster each year too. And then it just, like, slowly that becomes our life. And nah, I'm not going for it, Like, I want to at least be able to look back, no matter come what may, and say, like, I did the best I could. And if new tactics or more nuance or more sophisticated understandings or, more mature ways of expressing myself reveal themselves later, I'm open to, bobbing and weaving and, getting better, doing better. But, like, you got to start. Like, starting is the important part. And so I know that I have to start. So anyway, this is the country, the title of this, Samizdat, Magna Carta, and Soviet England. So I've gone on at length about Soviet England. Dude, this is the fucking country of the Magna Carta in the Declaration of, like, the Rights of Man. That might have been the French Revolution, but the French Revolution was totally inspired by the Magna Carta, which is England. And it's like, wow, to watch this. And so, a lot of people don't know what samizdat is. Samizdat was the Soviet Russian term for propaganda. And the famous story is that there were periods in the Soviet Union where possession of, I think it wasn't called a photocopier then. What was it called? Like a mimeograph? Something like that. I think it's called a mimeograph. Anyway, it's a photocopier. If you had a photocopier, it was punishable by death because you could use a photocopier to publish pamphlets about how communism wasn't all it was cracked up to be, and how the portrayal of the outside world, is this like horrible, barbaric place, was also not accurate. And so all of these systems require like full consensus. And so I have an existential need to be on the record that I do not fuck with this. I do not support this. This is evil. This is definitionally evil. And I know that other people who did this and stood up and spoke before I am standing up and speaking showed me that I wasn't alone in how I was thinking and feeling. And I want to be another person standing up that makes one or more other people feel that they too are not alone, and maybe serve as inspiration now or in the future for them to similarly, in their own way, speak up and call out this evil for what it is. Because we have the potential to build a truly beautiful society, not this fucking fake bullshit ass communist version of a beautiful society, which is actually dystopia disguised. It's like, look at the woman in the background, right? Like, this woman in the background has the fucking fakest ass smile, that police officer. You know how like you can smile with your mouth, right? And there's nothing going on in your eyes and you're just like smiling. Like, that is what the beautiful world they want to create is. It's a smile with nothing going on in the eyes. No actual beauty. No felt experience of beauty. But if you dare call it ugly, then you're hateful, and you will be visited upon by the full force of law. So you, motherfucker, suck a fat dick, bitch. Go fuck yourself straight the fuck up.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.
So on that note, I'm just playing, ladies. You know I love you. Got some Shilajit, Celtic sea salt water up in this bitch. Shout out to the superfood kingdom, the superfood fucking mafia. Oh, this is good. I want to do this now. This is similar but different. Damn, dude, this shit is so good. This shit is so good. Fuck. Dude, shit, fuck. Whoa. Okay, dude. So this is, we'll get into it, but, since I don't have my Jeopardy music, this is Arthur C. Clarke, and this is, anyway, we'll talk about it, okay. It's so good, man. Okay. Oppression, look for night, the world, okay. All right, I call this one Rethinking Everything, a prescient look from 1950 at the world in the year 2000 and the world collapse to a single point, featuring Louis Getterman IV and Arthur C. Clarke. This is News from 5D with Otis 5D.
News from 5D with Otis 5D.
Dude, this shit is so dope. This is so crazy. This is from fucking 1950, bro. And this was shared by Louis Getterman on Twitter. And I highly encourage you to follow him. It's a very interesting account. He's an EAC dude. If you don't know what EAC dude is, bro, step your fucking life game up. So Arthur C. Clarke, take it away. Dude, this is 1950, okay? Like, really think about that.
But what about the city of the day after tomorrow? Say the year 2000. I think it will be completely different. It may not even exist at all. But what about the city of the day after tomorrow? Say the year 2000. I think it will be completely different. In fact, it may not even exist at all. Oh, I'm not thinking of the atom bomb and the next Stone Age. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough which has been made possible by developments in communications, particularly the transistor and, above all, the communications satellite.
Dude, if I'm not mistaken, the transistor was invented in 1947. So this is this would be like a dude talking about the ramifications of AI now, right? And like what the world is going to be like in, 2074, right? Like, meaning at his time, the transistor had only been out about 3 years. In our world, AI has only been out about 3 years. Like, the shit he calls is just wild.
Possible by developments in communications, particularly the transistor and, above all, the communications satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location.
You could even live stream on that. You could sit in front of a fucking camera looking at a screen and broadcast yourself doing that activity to the entire world in real time, more or less.
It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London.
Digital nomads, bro. He's saying because of communications technology, you'll be able to work from Tahiti or Bali. Go to Nomad List and look at it. It's fucking Thailand, it's fucking Indonesia, Malaysia, like Japan is, it's just like he called all of this. He called our world in, dude, that.
In fact, if it proves worthwhile, almost any executive skill, any administrative skill, even any physical skill could be made independent of distance. I am perfectly serious when I suggest that one day we may have brain surgeons in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand. When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point. And the traditional role of the city as a...
This is the fucking thing, bro. Our world is shrinking to a point. Get it through your head. I'm like tapping on your fucking forehead right now. Get it through your head. We are not in the world we used to be in. We are not in Kansas anymore. Wake the fuck up. We are in a different world. We are transitioning into a completely different experience of what it means to be human on planet Earth. Please.
When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point. And the traditional role of the city as a meeting place for man would have ceased to make any sense. In fact, men will no longer commute. They will communicate. They won't have to travel for business anymore. They'll only travel for pleasure. I only hope that when that day comes, and when the city is abolished, the whole world isn't turned into one giant suburb.
Oof. Oof. 15-minute cities, one giant suburb. Dude. It's all happening, man. This is why, tonight I started my show with a video about grieving. And my felt sense, my intuitive sense is that we as a human species are going through a collective grieving process right now. And everyone is realizing that, like, whatever comes next ain't what came before. And you see it in every chart, you know. You see it in the collapsing birth rates. You see it in the, I don't know, it's like everywhere, all right? Anyway, it's too many. And, like that's, we had a great run. It was so beautiful, right? Like, that's why, you know, I think I've been to probably like 65 countries at this point. And when I think back about these countries, like, it's just these flashes of like all the different ways that people and societies experience being human. And all of that is slowly converging, right, to like Zara and different versions of Amazon. You know, in each region there's like a different thing called Amazon. You know, it's not called Amazon, but that, you know, serves the same purpose as Amazon. And, you know, a different messaging app, whether it's Line or whether it's WhatsApp or Telegram or Zalo or, you know, Facebook Messenger. Like, each country has one that like everybody uses, and, you know, it just goes on and on like that. And it's just converging more and more. And I think that no one really knows what that means, because I think we're going through a one-way door. And I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I mean, I think it's a scary thing, you know, but I think that there's wisdom in doing one's best to not be afraid of the unknown, and not to assume that the unknown is inherently bad. I've listened to a bunch of different spiritual material about the fact that, like, numerologically the number 13 represents the unknown, right? And pretty much in every country on planet Earth there are no 13th floors, right, on elevators or on buildings. And that this is like just a representation of humanity's collective fear of the unknown, and a sort of like assumption that which is unknown is like bad and scary, and what is known is good. And, you know, there's that tension to some extent plays out between, you know, left and right politically. And that's a different topic, but fundamentally, you know, our world is converging to a single point, and increasingly the cities of the world are online. You know, the global town square is for sure Twitter. And if one doesn't know that, then one really is not in the game. One does not know the world that they're currently living in. And, you know, so more and more of this stuff is becoming virtual. And I can imagine, you know, in the future when everyone, like, all native garb, there's no more kimonos, there's no aodais, there's no saris, you know, whatever. And, like, everyone just dresses at Zara and H&M, and like it's all just a virtual, you know. And maybe the world won't go in this way. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but like you can feel at least the current trend in that direction, and that there is something that's what he was talking about, right? The reason I'm harping on this is because that's how he ended the video. Is like, let's not turn it into one giant suburb, where, you know, Istanbul is the same as, you know, Dar es Salaam is the same as Tokyo, is the same as Mexico City. Like, let's like do, you know, how do you even fight that? I don't know, when everybody's on Instagram and everybody's on YouTube, and like the thoughts are just slowly returning into a kind of like planetary hive mind. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know, man. Oh, so good. So I always forget that, like, because a lot of times I make these kind of videos and I have like really strong opinions, and I'm like, fuck this, and you gotta think like that. And like, this is one of those cases where, you know, I'm not like that. I'm like, damn, bro, I don't fucking know, man. I mean, to me, everything is about network states. It's about people of like mind meeting around the world on the internet and slowly but surely forming online communities that grow tighter and tighter to the point that they eventually turn into IRL communities, and potentially even like crowdsourcing living arrangements and things of that nature. But point being, you know, this is like one of the most important things that I want to be discussing with people, and for that reason, I have created a private community group chat called Otis 12D. And if you're really into this and you wanna be a part, you know, I envision this as like a community of people that are on the bleeding edge of existence and are kind of spitballing about both how are we to live as individuals and how is society going to evolve. Because I think one of the biggest dangers that an individual faces in the times we're in is something called future shock, which is a term created in the either 70s or 80s by a really incredible visionary futurist named Alvin Toffler, who wrote a book called Future Shock. And it was a state where the pace of change becomes so rapid that people are no longer able to manage it. And they basically, you know, their brain glitches and they're just out. They're just gone. And I think that we're seeing that happen with more and more people, you know, people that are just increasingly like so polarized in some particular direction that like if you're not polarized in the same way they're polarized, like there's really like not anything to even, there's no nuance, right? There's no subtlety. There's no like, oh, I never considered that. It's like, no, I considered everything and fuck what you're saying, right? Like, and it's like, whoa. So anyway, that's how I envision this community. And if you're interested in joining, go to my website otis5d.xyz and click Otis12D and check it out and see what you think, because this is a huge passion of mine. I almost feel like this is a big part. This is one part of my life's work, is to assemble a community, and the goal is that, you know, this community is so fucking dope. And so the people are all so awesome that everyone in the group, the thing they look forward to the most, you know, each morning and each night before they go to bed is like checking the group and seeing what's new and like what interesting conversations have been going on, and, you know. So that's that. And so yeah, I don't know. This one is these are the things. These are the deep things. And I feel like anybody that claims to have answers, like I know, dude, fuck that person. Like this shit is deep. This is some deep fucking shit. So anyway, go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5d.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.
All right. So what next? Okay, that feels good. Oh, I don't want to do that one. That's just I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want it now. Okay. Dude, this is tight. It's getting better. It was just like clack, 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 and then it's good. Oh, if people could have seen how long this shit used to take me, how long it took me to get it to be relatively, you know, not taking 10 years to do everything. All right, so let's see. Okay, cool. This is like a continuation of the last video. Okay. All right, I call this one The Value of Degrees, Future Shock, and How to Make Long-Term Investments in the Age of AI, featuring Nick Bostrom and Tom Bilyeu. This is News from 5D with Otis 5D.
News from 5D with Otis 5D.
And I would be remiss, I said featuring Nick Bostrom, this dude, and Tom Bilyeu, the other dude, but I would be remiss to not mention Zarathustra, Czar Nick. You can see, you know, his little watermark in the video on Twitter. Czar Nick's Twitter account is so fucking goated Zarnik, you are doing such a service to humanity. If I one day do as big a service to humanity as you are doing, I will be very, very proud of myself. And I'm very proud of you. Okay, so this is Nick Bostrom talking about AI.
This AI revolution happens within the next 5 or 10 years or something, then these long-term investments in human capital that we might make now with a payback time of 20, 30 years might not pay off, because by that time, maybe human capital will have depreciated as a result of AIs supplanting us across the board. So that's one sense in which the future would not exist. But yeah, so enjoying things now. Also, like with college education, I think if you would like really enjoy your time at college, that's one thing, then maybe do it. But if it's just something you have to drag yourself through for the sake of getting a diploma, I would like maybe seriously consider if there are not ways to sort of cut out those 3 or 4 years to get straight to what you want to do. And similarly with like PhD programs that can take, like in the US, 5 or 6 years. That's a long time. I think in many cases, it may be too long for it to be worth it these days.
Just because the rate of change is so accelerated?
Yeah, because the timelines might be shorter.
The timelines might be shorter. So, you know, there is a part of me that feels like I'm talking to the world and at the end of days, right? And you know, I say that with like not just a grain of salt, but like a fucking brick of salt, and because historically, everybody who thinks like that is so fucking wrong. Shout out to Sabotage Zvi, the Sabbateans. If you wanna look up some funny shit of people who thought it was the end times, look up the Jews, and I believe in Ukraine, the Sabbateans, Sabbateans, the Sabbateans, Sabotage Zvi. So, but there is a feeling I have that like everything we thought we knew is just gonna get compressed, and my hypothesis / supposition is that we're just slowly getting used to it. We're just slowly getting used to being so inundated with content and change, and days just rolling into weeks and months and years, that this is the metamorphosis that we're in. This is the dimensional shift. This is the great awakening, you know, if such things are actually happening. It's like we are in a process that is very difficult for us to see because we are in it, and because we can't get out of it, we don't have a proper frame of reference to see outside of it. And if we could see outside of it, and we could see the way we were experiencing life, you know, in 2016 compared to the way we're experiencing life in 2024, I think we would be flabbergasted at how fast everything is now. And that even though we experience it as fast, from who we were in 2016, it's like light speed. But we're starting to adjust to 2024, but 2025 will be twice as fast as 2024, and then 2026 will be twice as fast. It'll be 4 times faster than 2024, and then 2027 will be 8 times faster, and then 2028 will be 16 times faster, and by the time you get to 2030, it's like 100 times faster, and you know, there's just no telling. So to me, you know, I haven't talked about that this much, but a big part of the reason that I've started doing this now, like, you know, remaking content, you know, for those of you that, you know, don't know that I have a long history of making content, I do, but I stopped for a number of years. And a big part of the reason I stopped for a number of years is I knew that this stuff, like that's why I'm preoccupied with this stuff now, is because I've been preoccupied with this stuff since the late 90s, right? But now we're actually in it. It's like the world is ready for my preoccupation. I was the way I'm ranting now, I was ranting to my college homies who were just fucking stoned and like, dude, shut up, in like 1999. And, you know, so 25 years later, like here we are. And I think that the audience that is, you know, is engaged in this kind of content is sufficient to like, you know, make the content. But because I, you know, felt this was coming, right, and still feel, obviously there are people that think that what I'm saying is coming is not coming, and I'm just another person who's delusional. Okay, that's fine, I get it. but I think it's coming, and I also thought it was coming in the past. And because of that, the decision I made was to more or less like knock off my bucket list, right? So I spent a number of years, to some extent, finishing my bucket list. And my bucket list doesn't really... There's really just a couple things at most left, and those couple things are somewhat like optional. All the things where I'm like, damn, dude, if I don't do that, it's all kind of over. And so now I feel like, okay. Now I can focus. Now I can like zoom in and not try to, it's like that's all done. Let's just get, so point being, I'm saying this not to talk about myself, but to say that like, what he said is like, how do you make long-term investments in the age of AI? Like maybe you shouldn't go to college. To me, we really are at the end of something. And so I would highly encourage people to knock off bucket list things, because I'll just give you one example. If you've always dreamed of like going to some country, you're in the last period of time where that country is going to be anything remotely like what you imagined it might be. And that goes for some place like Thailand, that goes for some place like Paris. It's like everywhere is changing so fast, and the culture and the customs are becoming, just social media. Like every country is increasingly, to some extent, just social media, and each year it's a little bit more. So like you're already at the tail end of being able to see a traditional culture like living as it always did for thousands of years. So I would like knock that shit out as soon as humanly possible, because pretty soon going there is not going to be like, it's not what you imagined you were going to. And in addition to that, I would spend a lot of time, like Naval Ravikant has he has this great concept that the three most important things in life are what you do, where you live, and who you're around. So I would spend inordinate amounts of time just staring into space, really looking within and asking, like, what do I really want to do? Like, what do I really want to do? If I could do anything. And by do anything, I don't mean have a fucking threesome. I mean, that's great. If you want to have a threesome, go have a threesome. But I'm saying, like, the thing about a threesome is I don't think you're going to want to have a threesome every day for the rest of your life. Even if you think you are, after number 5, I think you're going to be like, damn, dude, that shit's just like 2 bodies. Like, it's not what I thought it was. So once like you have that out of your system, like why are you alive? What is your purpose? What is the meaning of your life? How are you going to express your meaning with the knowledge that most likely, unless technology solves death, which I think is still pretty unlikely, like you're going to die. And so at some point you're going to be dying, and you're going to have to determine, like, did you use your time as you wished you had? And the one thing I can say is that, as weird as it sounds, like what you're watching is me happy on my deathbed. You're witnessing me happy on my deathbed, laying there as I lay dying. Isn't that William Faulkner or something? Leaving this realm and being like, dude, I fucking did that shit, bro. I came to Earth. I conquered, motherfucker. And by conquered, I don't mean like I had 1 million subscribers. I mean like I had the balls, as Jay-Z says, far from a Harvard student, just had the balls to do it. I had the balls to do it. I had the balls to dream a dream and find that dream so compelling. What if I did this? And then I did it. And then I fucking did it. And I bless you. Of all the good feelings I've ever had in my life, none of them really compare to the feeling of doing this. And, there is, I super respect anybody that feels either scared or overwhelmed, because I'm like, I'm a bitch, bro. I'm a real scared person, and I do have the feeling that like at any moment I could just get snatched up by the New World Order, right? And all of a sudden it's like, cyber pandemic, and they're like, oh, you've been making bad videos on the internet, and the fucking drones come and, carry me away to the Matrix. And, that's scary. That's scary. But it's like, I'd rather, die on my feet than live on my knees, like famous last words. Probably if I'm in the Matrix, I'm going to be like, damn, dude, I don't know. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up and enjoy my life. But anyway, no, because I know that as I lay there dying, I'm going to be like, I did it. I did the thing I said I wanted to do. And for that reason, I was of benefit to the whole, to the collective, to humanity, because I was a demonstration of a person who did the thing they dreamt of doing. And that is my belief as to what the purpose and meaning of life is to do the thing you feel is your dharma, is the thing that you are put here and meant to do, and to do it. And I don't think that anyone else will look at what I'm doing and think like, oh, that's also what I want to do. But I do hope that I at least inspire people to reawaken the dream that they may have, let go of, and, grab it again and be like, you know what, maybe I'll never make it, but, at least I had the balls to do it. And, yeah. So, if you're one of those people, if you one of them ones, if you him, go to my website and check out Otis 12D, my private group chat, and, see if it's up your alley, and, consider joining, because, I want to be around them ones. You know what I'm saying? All right, go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay, so that's our show for tonight. I feel like this is turning into something, It ain't gonna be for everybody, but it's for me. I think I'd watch it. I think I'd watch this shit every so often. I often just upload shit, and I don't ever watch it. I'm like Meryl Streep. Me and Meryl Streep are, we got a lot in common. But anyway, every so often I watch some shit and I'm like, that's pretty good, bro. I kind of fuck with that. I feel like I'd watch that shit. I think I'd watch that shit and be like, yeah, this is pretty good. This dude's pretty good. This dude's kind of legit, bro. You know that? You ever hear this Otis 5D dude? That dude's kind of legit. He's weird, but yeah, I think he's kind of legit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So anyway, fuck with your boy. Support. If you have like awesome comments to leave that are insightful and thoughtful and thought-provoking, drop that shit. And follow me on Twitter. That's like my main. That's where I post clip. Oh, good. I can say that. Okay. It's like it's turning into a shtick. Soon it'll be like a battle rap slogan. It's like what are some of the great battle rap slogans? Ball game. Landslide. From the Lou, that's what a motherfucker's saying. Beat me. Can you beat me? Can you believe what that motherfucker said? You must have slipped, fell, and bumped your motherfucking head. Be magic, motherfucker. So, this shit's gonna like turn into a slogan eventually. So anyway, I post clips on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter that's like the Clips channel. I live stream on, currently at least, on Rumble and YouTube, and I highly encourage you to follow me on Rumble, because one never knows when YouTube turns into, they ixnay, they 86 the boy. So, hopefully I'm not doing bad law of attraction, bad manifestation. I'm just trying to manifest unicorns and rainbows out here, bruh. So that's live from 5D. I'm Otis 5D. And I think at the end of the show, I don't say go fuck yourself. I say, go love yourself, follow your dreams, have the audacity to do something that even if no one else notices it, you say to yourself, who the fuck would have the balls to do that? All right, dudes. Bye.